You and me together.
We've had all these
Finally.
conversations, finally bringing it to
Finally.
life.
I mean, how hard, like, seriously though, Anna, how hard can it be to coordinate schedules, two people to have a conversation? I've been absolutely so excited about this conversation just because I know how amazing you are. And I have the privilege, I truly am so privileged to call you a friend, a mentor, a coach.
I feel
I
the
have
same
this
way.
idea. What do you think, Anna?
I'm gonna cry. I love you.
How would you, for somebody who's never been in your world, who's meeting you for the very first time, how do you introduce yourself?
Sandra, are you serious? We talk about this all the time, that you and I have this thing with receivership. And now you're asking me to talk about me.
That was actually, before you even answer that, one of the greatest lessons that I received from coaching with you was exactly that lesson, that we had a whole, and I had a whole meltdown about this, where it was like, I'm so good at giving, but my
Yes.
goodness, it's so hard for me to receive, right?
Oh,
And you gave me this pep talk where you were like, you got to receive, like
you
you've got
gotta
to balance the
receive.
universe. So receive how amazing you are and let the world know who you are.
Oh, I love it. You're just a magical soul. And honestly, I feel the same way. I'm so grateful to be in your energetic space. I'm so grateful the universe connected us in 2020 and we were going to work together. Then you know what happened, and here we are together again, working in a different capacity. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And so who am I? Oh my goodness, I am a multifaceted entrepreneur, multifaceted woman. I'm a generator in human design, so I am constantly following that sacral yes. And for me to do just one thing has never been a thing. So I'll take you back a little bit, but I'm a Polish immigrant. We came to Canada when I was 6 years old, and, you know, very programmed to do the traditional thing, to go to school, get good grades, climb the corporate ladder, and quote unquote, that was the definition of success. And so being a good girl, again, in quotes, air quotes, that's what I did. And I arrived in the corporate world, and excuse my French, I'm like, what the is this? This is not for me. And, you know, through the
What were you doing? Because I know you went to business school and you went to like the best business school in Canada. So when it comes to checking off all the boxes in terms of being a good girl, doing all of the things, excelling, you checked all those boxes. So what was the career that you stepped into, or that you found yourself in corporate?
That's right. Check those boxes. I was in corporate sales and marketing. So I arrived at this huge, you know, top 500 CPG firm, and I was placed with these three brands that I didn't use, that I thought were actually really bad for our health, and that I was not activated to promote or market. And so I think for me, it was the beauty in the story is that very quickly I realized how I felt in that setting, and I took an action to kind of rebel against it and start to see what else was out there. And so that truly was that first time I really declared to the universe, like, what am I here for? What am I meant to do? What is my purpose? And I can't tell you how I arrived at that place. Like in 2008, I read The Secret, and I think that started planting like conscious cells, because unconsciously I've always wanted a success, and success with, you know, multi-dimensional definition, not just the financial success. But I think I really put a label on it with The Secret. And so I started to practice that and just say, you know, I think I'm here for more. I don't feel good. I want to feel good. So what is going to make me feel good? And what mark am I meant to leave in the world? And so I literally lasted 2 years. And, you know, just imagine my Polish immigrant father who, you know, just wanted his daughter to have the safety and security. And then
But you have, I know you, but you have a good job and you can get promoted and you work so hard. And was that hard for you though, to make that leap, to make that decision that this isn't for me? Because like you said, you're working for one of the premier firms on all these brands that are global brands. Was that a hard thing to make that decision?
It was harder with the element of the family. So it's more so, I'm the only daughter. I was the token kid that my dad could talk about to his friends. I did go to Ivy Business School. I did land this career. I did this, right? And so I realized that it wasn't even my fear. It was his fear. And so that decision for me was purely an alignment. And of course there was fear, of course there was fear. What if that next thing doesn't work? What if I'm leaving, and I'm meant to do this in my lifetime? So of course, absolutely, we're human and those fears will always come. But I just knew, that was my first, I guess, real evidence of staying true to my intuition and just going for it. And then the pathways opened up. So it was interesting because the first leap into entrepreneurship for me was through network marketing. So now imagine me telling my dad, because all he knows is Amway and these old school network marketing.
You're selling soap. You're going to be selling soap?
So I kept dropping those bombs on him, but it was just,
and if I'm your dad, I'm thinking, what am I going to tell my friends now?
Now she's selling Amway, and I wasn't with Amway, but that's the preconception, that's what people perceive the industry to be, is Amway or Avon or Mary Kay. And I mean, bless your soul if that's what you're doing, but it was just, so, but I just kept following the nudges. And then when I recently dove into human design, I realized that's what I was doing, if we want to label it, as following my sacral yeses, following the intuitive hits. And now I can look back, hindsight 2020, and say, I'm truly proud of myself for doing that, because oftentimes we listen to the external and all the things that could go wrong and all of the fears and all of the lack and, what you could be losing. Yeah. But
and the great, is something that, you and I had a conversation about, coming both of us from immigrant families and all of the mindset that they were brought up with is exactly that, is that their mindset becomes our mindset. And so it's not even from a place of, your dad didn't want the best for you. In his mind, he wants the best for you. But what he knew as the best for you was having that, what he didn't have, right? That's the security, the job, all of the things. And so you mentioned human design. What is your human design type?
So I'm a 4/6 sacral generator. And it's so fascinating because our energetic blueprint is who we are and how we show up in the world. And being able to understand that this is actually why I've been doing things the way that I do them. It's truly fascinating. And I don't use, the label of human design or, knowing what I know now as a crutch. It's an empowerment tool to say, okay, I understand myself more fully and the fullest expression of who I am that I'm continuously stepping into. And so it's a beautiful tool. And what are you in human design? I'm so curious.
I honestly don't know very much about human design. I only recently had my human design reading, but I'm a 2/4 manifester. And now you're going to ask me what my authority is, and I don't remember.
So you are a manifester, and manifestors are a very small percentage of the population. And you are just a magical soul. You are birthing the big vision, the next thing, the paradigm shifts in the world. And my little Sophie's a manifestor too. And you girls are fireballs.
I've been called a fireball. It's actually funny you say that because I actually recently went for a session with your Reiki practitioner. And that was one of the things she said to me. She said, "You're a fireball." And she said to me about, and you need to be in a relationship with a person, a man, a woman, whatever. I'm with a man, but she's like, a person who is equally strong, because if you don't have a strong person, you will walk all over them. So Like, yeah, the universe gave me a strong person.
I love that. And I know your husband, and I love that. Like the perfect match.
But back to you. So you start down this path of network marketing. And first of all, why network marketing? Like, what was it about network marketing versus anything else that you could have gone and done?
I love that. And this is the thing, because I had been programmed and coded so corporate and corporate ladder and C-level executive. And, that network marketing, I had a zero perception of. I had no, all of those objections that started coming at me when I said yes. I was like, oh gosh, I had no idea. To me, it was just a business model. And so to me, I came very clean slate about the industry and the way that I saw it. So let me just rewind 1 second. So I declared, I'm like, what am I here to do? And this showed up for me within weeks. And so when I met my mentor and coach, who's a dear friend to this day, we've known each other now for 12 years, and she presented this to me, it was a no-brainer. It was a sacral yes, which I didn't know at the time. It was a sacral yes, but there was just no doubt in my mind, because essentially she was telling me that I will partner with a product that in my mind was a very important product, health and wellness. And there's systems and structures in place. And this is my way of entering into the realm of entrepreneurship. And so I thought it was a no-brainer. So that, because at that time I didn't have a product idea, I didn't have a service idea. I had read all about Richard Branson, and I was like, he is a genius. And if I could be an entrepreneur one day, then that's what I'd love to do. But because I didn't have the product or service idea, this for me was that click. It was like, this is the solution. I'm now partnering with a product that I get to represent. My strengths are sales and marketing. I have a coach and a mentor, and it's a plug and play business. It was a no-brainer. So I didn't have this whole like pyramid scheme crap that people talk about, because it wasn't my reality at that time. So it was just yes. And we ran right away. So I reached the top of the company within 4.5 years. And to me, it was my own evidence of proof that I love leadership. I love mentoring and coaching female entrepreneurs. I just love everything about creating our own wealth and recoding and reprogramming all of the limiting beliefs, because this is a huge thing. Network marketing for me was a gateway into personal development. This is where I learned about Jim Rohn. This is where I learned about Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, like the greats. Like this was my introduction to them. And so it was also my proof and evidence that this is it. Entrepreneurship is for me, and this is my calling. This is my soul's work in this lifetime. And this is the vehicle at that time that I was using to bring those gifts to the world.
And then you went on to find your big idea. So tell me about how, and just to set the stage here, you still are involved with your network marketing business and doing very well with it, right? So it's not something that you've parked. And why is that? Why do you continue to work with the network marketing business?
So many reasons. But if we look at it from a business standpoint and, the like product and community and personal development and the gratitude around that, they're like parked to the side. As an entrepreneur and a business owner, multiple streams of income, multiple streams of revenue for me are absolutely key. And so network marketing is a passive residual income stream if built properly. And so this leads me to my next company that I co-founded, which is Love Powered Co. We create physical tools for mindfulness and affirmations and connection for the home and the family. And so when you look at this business model, we now had the creative playground to bring a product to the world that we knew would have so much impact, because affirmations, and you and I talk about this all the time, I mean, our thoughts and our frequency are constantly manifesting. And so for us, the truest and the purest intention of Love Powered Co. was to power the next generation of mindful leaders through these tools of mindfulness, kindness, affirmations, gratitude, and deeper connection with self and family. From a business standpoint, there is no leveraged or residual component to a business model like this when you create a product-based business. So for me, as Anna, the brand, having multiple streams of revenue is key for me, for my family, for what I teach. So continuing to layer on is something that I do, and I do so passionately because I'm not just Anna, the network marketer, or Anna, the product founder, or Anna, the coach. Like, I love to do multiple things, and I love to serve in these ways. Yeah.
So tell me about the idea behind, how did the two of you, because you have a business partner, how did the two of you come up with the idea for Love Partco, and why did you, I know you've kind of talked about it, but why in that form? Why physical product?
Beautiful question. So this, we officially launched in 2017, and both my business partner and I had been in the personal development world. So she has a beautiful story of how affirmations really supported her healing journey with anxiety. And for me, they were a tool in my toolkit as I was expanding and evolving as a human, a person. And so at that time, my oldest was 8 months old, and my littlest one was still a sprinkle in the sky. And Lindy had two little kids. They were really little. I believe like 2 and 4, or 4 and 6. And we looked at them and just said, our perfect clean slate children. What if we raised them on the foundation of affirmations and consciously choosing our thoughts? What if we raise them on this foundation of mindfulness? And kids are naturally mindful. They are just in the present moment, but bringing awareness to it. And again, putting a label on it, but a positive label of saying, you are mindful because you are fully present all of the time, is a gift that they get to carry on with the foundation of gratitude and conscious gratitude. Because, we have glimpses of gratitude, but actually making it a practice and something that you do with every ounce of your being is a magnet for miracles. And so we looked at each other, we said, we have to create a product. And we do what most founders do, is we went to Google and started Googling affirmations for kids. And in 2016, what we envisioned, really the bridging the gap between the world of woo and spirituality and the blogger world, which was up and coming in 2016, and creating a beautiful product that the mom who loves beautiful things would purchase, even if she yet was not in the world of spiritual psychology and, quote unquote, woo. And so that's what we did, is we bridged those two worlds together of beauty and mindful and meaningful. And we launched our first deck, which was affirmations for kids. And then we started getting requests for teens and women. And so we created our next products. And then we launched a partnership with Indigo and created more products. And so actually right now is our 5-year anniversary. And I'm proud to say that we have almost officially sold the company. So we have found an incredible person who is going to take it to the next level. We feel like we have done our life's work with this product, and we're just so beaming with gratitude that it gets to live on and it gets to touch more families. And, as a founder, I get to say that I launched, scaled, and sold a product-based company. So this is where we are now.
Something that you said, which I don't think, unless someone's actually bought your product, and just for anybody who's listening who doesn't know what Indigo is, they're the largest book reseller in Canada. So they're a major player. And I know you also sold, so you sold through Indigo in Canada, but you also have your online store, and you also sold internationally as well. I know you sold globally. Something that people, unless you've actually touched this product, it is so beautiful. Like, there's so much thoughtfulness that went into, I feel like you must have spent ages on the design because everything feels like it was thought about, like just unboxing it, how it opens, the weight of the card and how it feels. Like it literally has a feel to it. Like how long did it take you from having this idea, starting that Google research, to actually having here's a physical product? And what were at a high level the steps? How does someone go from an idea to here's my physical product?
I love that. And you're like making me cry because, it is a transition phase. And you would think, when you get to sell something that you've created, it's just pure joy and celebration. But, it is emotional because at the end of the day, it is your baby that you birthed, that, you've nurtured, that, it's an interesting emotion I'm feeling right now. So the fascinating thing, it was literally 9 months. So it was like a full term.
Isn't the universe funny? Isn't like the universe really has a sense of humor? Because like literally 9 months.
No joke. Like you are funny up there, it's so, oh my goodness. So this is what I have to say is there are a lot of moving parts. And I think, how we say like ignorance is bliss, and it truly is, because we were both coming from different industries. We had never launched a product. And so it was figuring it all out by ourselves. And the beauty of having a partner, a business partner, is you get to lean on each other. Oftentimes, founders are solopreneurs and they're working by themselves. And this is why I'm huge into coaching and mentorships and masterminds and retreats, because we need the community. We need that support because entrepreneurship can be such a lonely journey. And so we got to work. And obviously the first thing was creating the product. Like what was the actual product? And we did decide, and there were, we still have thousands of ideas of what Love Powered could launch into the world, but we decided on affirmations for kids based on our own market research and feedback from advisors. And so Lindy is the content creator. So the beautiful words on the cards are her work. And, we brought together a team of illustrators and graphic designers and web developers, and really a team that understood our vision. The quality for us was number one. The beauty and the meaning, every single piece of this product is consciously curated. And now looking back, and we have tons of competitors now, and the market has shifted. We really were one of the first in Canada to launch a product of this caliber. And I feel like that attention to detail has brought us to where we are today. And, I can say that I do feel our results and the brand awareness is because of that choice to focus on quality and intentionality no matter what. That was something that we were never going to sacrifice. And that has been true for the 5 years. And so obviously product writing, then finding the manufacturer. And, we constantly get messages or emails saying, who's your manufacturer? And for me, as a coach and a mentor now to product-based entrepreneurs, that process in itself comes with so much growth, so much expansion, and puts you in the driver's seat of you stepping into this title of founder and CEO. So I don't share that contact because it was painful, because it was a labor of love, because it took so much time and so much growth happened to put together that perfect team. And that's what I want us to do. Is I don't support this concept of lazy entrepreneurship. I really want women to be self-led and empowered across the entire process of launching and scaling a business. And so finding the manufacturer, putting the team together, actually developing the product, creating that launch strategy, and how were we actually going to bring it to the marketplace. So at that time, we decided to go with Kickstarter. And, Kickstarter is not today what it was in 2017. In 2017, it was the platform to launch a product-based business. And it wasn't just like, oh, hey, world, like click live on Kickstarter, there was 6 months of planning and developing the launch strategy for Kickstarter and the post-launch strategy. And so all of that were the moving parts, but we were so excited. Our passion, our purpose was driving us moment by moment. And really, it was a set of solving problems day by day because it's something we had never done. And so when people ask me, is there ever a perfect time to start? No, of course there isn't. I found out. So when we launched the company, August 29th, 2017, September 9th, I found out I was pregnant with my second. And I have both of mine, because I'm done, but 2 of my first trimesters were awful. It was sleep and nausea. And here we are with a startup that just launched 2 weeks prior. So that, and then Lindy was undergoing a massive house reno, like top to bottom. So please don't talk to me about the perfect time to get started, because I will say start now, because there's never a better time than now.
And so what feels about now the right time, 5 years in, for you to be letting go of this baby that you've literally poured your hearts into?
Yes. So we did know at the beginning, we wanted to create a brand, a company, a product that we could eventually sell and pass it to the next owner who would love it and scale it and bring it to, whatever that next evolution is for this company. And so, yeah, this is where we're at, and it feels on purpose. We also knew that we wanted to start this process of selling the company on a high. And so last fall, we launched a huge collaboration with Jillian Harris. So and if you don't know who she is, she's a huge Canadian influencer. So we created a journal from scratch with Jillian Harris to go into her fall Jilly Box 2021. And so coming off that,
and that's it. And also for context, for anybody who just has no idea who Jillian Harris is, this is a huge deal to be in the Jilly Box, because this box is always sold out, sells
within minutes.
I don't know how many gajillion units she sells, but it's a huge deal to be invited to be in the box, right?
Yeah, for a small business, it truly is, a huge, I would say, win, one of those things that will go down in history as one of our proudest moments, because not only were we invited, we were also invited to launch a product from scratch with her. So to create a product from scratch, which was beautiful, because we talk about our commitment to quality. I mean, Jillian Harris's commitment to quality and the caliber of everything she puts out into the world is incredible. And so that also up-leveled us. Even though we were playing in a very similar realm of quality, it up-leveled us to the next level. And so we knew coming off this collaboration, and that was ending early December, that this is when we wanted to start the sales process. But you can see now we're 9 months later. What is with this 9-month thing happening? Someone's playing jokes on us. But this is the thing. It takes time.
Yeah.
And so anything we do when it is a big move, a big decision, there is that potentiality that it could take, and time being, a human thing. But, I love to play in the quantum, but the reality is certain things take time.
Yeah.
And looking back at this last 9 months, the one thing that I can say that I consciously did well was held the faith. So we had 3 deals fall through due to financing, but holding the faith and knowing and trusting and not letting any of that wobble energy come in, because I knew this was going to happen. I knew in my soul that this is the next evolution for this company. And so if I allowed any frustration, oh, that deal fell through, oh, that didn't, then that's wobbly energy that is rooted in lack. And I would then simply delay the process of this happening. And so, holding the faith for 9 months, when you get closer and closer each time you speak to someone, is is what,
It's challenging. And I think that's like you said, like it's not allowing that wobble, because I think oftentimes we use the evidence of what is as the evidence of what is possible. And so it would have been so easy for you, the first time you had that person who was like, okay, this is possible. And then that falls through. Then the second, and by the time you're at the third time, it's so easy to be like, maybe this isn't meant to be, or let's
explore
change
other
course,
options.
to lose your faith, right? And so how do you, so from a practical perspective, from a tools perspective, what advice would you give to someone to hold the faith, someone who is in a season of waiting and hoping and dreaming? What do we do to keep the faith?
Absolutely. And this is where we really need to tie in our energetic frequency, because for me, it's this, I know that my thoughts and my frequency that are being put out into the universe are boomeranging back to me no matter what. Whether I want them to or not is not up to me. They simply are. And so truly embodying this statement, like there's one thing to know it, but then you go back to your fear thought or your complaint thought or your judgment thought or your projection thought. It's that thing, or actually embodying it and just knowing with every single cell of your body that we are this powerful, and not just me, you and them and they and her and she, and we are all this powerful. So we get to choose. And this is my reminder, this is my mantra, that every single day I get to choose my thoughts and I get to choose my frequency. And that's how I collapse timelines, because when I am in alignment, things start to flow. Every single time I get out of alignment, I am the one that is slowing down the process. So like this is a huge piece on worthiness, and this is why I love your brand. Like, we are this worthy, we are this powerful. And so that to me is that foundational thought and that constant reminder of like, how can I feel good now? Because it's going to happen. The kids are going to have the tantrum. The toilet's going to leak and it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. The this, the that. It's going to happen. That's life. But if we can come back to our center and just remember that our thoughts and our frequency are magnetizing no matter what. So in this moment, that may truly be a gift that we don't see right now. How can I feel good? And then I get the question, well, okay, but I feel good, but all of this is happening. And I understand this is our human experience, and there is pain and there is pleasure and it's a duality, but how can we feel a little bit better than we feel now? And so when we talk about vibing high, it's that. It's not dancing around naked in your living room, which could be fun, but it's really just choosing that next best feeling and being centered and grounded in that, knowing that there are forces behind you that are working with that energy. Like, I have goosebumps. Like, how powerful is that? So that was the thought.
Goosebumps too. I have goosebumps too. And I love what you just said about duality, because that's such an important, because oftentimes people have the dreams, whatever the dream is, whether it's to build $1 million business or the man or the woman or the house or whatever our dreams are, right? And we only focus on the good, right? On what we imagine it'll be like to have the 7-figure business or to have the person in our life. And we forget that even when you do have the 7-figure business, there's good things about having that, but there's also a hell of a lot of other things that are not so good, that it's, as they say, equal ends of the same sticks. And so understanding duality, that it's that it can be, a terrible thing for you to be going through that, oh my gosh, like 3 sales have fallen through. This is terrible, and it's still possible that our dream can still happen, right?
That's right. And you know what? And we live in this dimensional world of ands, and we wouldn't be able to appreciate, the house and the dream spouse and the, all of that magic if we didn't know the other side. We simply wouldn't. And so I think that's also a point of gratitude. And, you want the quickest way to shift your frequency is focus on gratitude, right? Like we know the stuff. Everybody's talking about it. but are you truly embodying it and practicing it and living it? And I think that to us is the most important, is we can know these concepts, but are we living them? Right.
That's so true.
And the power of frequency is, the more that we live it, the more our aura expands and the more people we impact simply by stepping into a room with that elevated frequency. Like, again, this is how powerful we are. And this is how worthy we are. And so it's so beautiful. And, I am seeing it everywhere, like this rise of the self-led female leader. And it truly is our time. It is our time. And we can also move into, feminine and masculine energy. And we've been so programmed for generations to do things very differently. And it's shifting. I know you and I are part of the shift. I know that your audience is part of the shift. It is really, especially for us women, to come back into balance, to come back home, and to remember that we have this beautiful energy within us that is the nurturer, that is the community builder, that is the collaborator, and allowing more of that to shine through. Like, we can create ripple effects on the world, and so quickly.
Something you said, like right at the top when you were talking about trusting intuition. And I know that that's something that you talk a lot about in the work that you are doing now, which is being a leader to leaders. So can you talk a little bit more about the coaching that you're doing, the mentoring that you're doing, some of the programs that you're putting on?
Beautiful. And the question, when I look at my career path over the last 12 years, the question's always been, and I always put my hands up. It's so interesting. I'm like, universe, God, spirit source, angels, like what, use me for the highest good. Like, what is next? How am I here to serve? And things drop in. And so almost a year ago now, in September, I had 2 messages really consecutively flow in and saying, do you coach other product-based entrepreneurs? And that time I was just so zoned in on the launch of Jillian Harris that was just around the corner, but I saw it as an invitation. And so I sat on it. I felt into it. I had always coached in the network marketing industry. And so I was missing that. I was really missing that community one and just that one-to-one impact. And so it felt great. And I put it out on Instagram, and 4 one-to-one clients like literally dropped in. And it was interesting because then I realized 4 one-to-one clients at the same time is a lot to hold, a lot of space. And so I've scaled back since, but I have been playing around with my offer suite, and, my mastermind, my 90-day mastermind was just so incredible. Just the community of women that came together that are still supporting each other. And so I've just been playing around with different offers and, different product suites that I wanted to lead. And so I've really landed on a few things that I offer, which is one-to-one mentorship through, 3 to 6 month programs. And I partner with my husband, who's a digital marketing expert. So for someone who wants to launch a business, now I'm offering both for product-based entrepreneurs and service-based entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. If they want to launch, they're working just with me. If they want to scale, they're working with me and my husband because he does the digital marketing side. I've played around with Voxer, and this is the thing, right? Like, we have to play. We have to see where our energy feels most alive. And Voxer, I resisted for a little bit until the most amazing client dropped in, and we just had so much fun working together for 2 months after I established the Voxer boundaries, because it's a very boundaryless place to play. Masterminds. So I actually have a mastermind launching in October 5th. It's going to be a 6-week power mastermind for the entrepreneurs who really want quick, aligned, and embodied results in Q4. So it's just been fun. It's just been playful. I just launched my website. So this is another piece, we think we need to have it all before we actually start. So for 9 months, again, I had no website. I simply operated with a PayPal link, and it was a 6-figure 9 months. So please, ladies, it is possible. It is possible to just follow the energy and put yourself out there and be playful and try and test and try on and see what works for you in this time space reality, because it also gets to shift.
As someone who's been through coaching with you, if anybody's listening and considering and thinking about, hey, I need help in terms of getting a product launched, or someone who already has a product, whether it's digital or physical, I cannot say enough good things about being in coaching with you, because literally in the space of, I want to say, after our very first meeting, you were like, okay, here's what we're going to, and you held me. This is the thing about Anna. She will hold you to it. And I think oftentimes that's what gets us stuck, is we get in our own heads. And, to what you said about really needing mentorship and needing coaching, it's easy to get in your own head. And unless you have somebody who's kind of removed, who can A, hold you accountable, but B, also help you think through other possibilities. And that for me was one of the greatest things that I experienced with you. First of all, you're just so badass in terms of, you hear something that's so striking to me about you, Anna, is how, I don't know what the right word is, how fearless you are about trying. Right? You'll try anything. You're like, I'll give it a go. And you'll like, why don't we try this? And why don't we reach out to this person? And I'm like, I don't know if I could. Let's reach out to them. And you will. And you will figure out someone who knows somebody who knows somebody, and you will get to the person. And I think that's it's such a skill that you have, but also how community minded you are. Like how you're such a connector. Like the number of times where you're like, I'll make an intro to you to so-and-so. Oh, I know this person who does this. Let me make an intro. You're someone who has no fear. You talked about lack and how sometimes our mindset is lack oriented. And I feel like sometimes as women, maybe that's why we don't support each other, because we're coming from a place of lack. But my experience of you has been, here's back in the day when you used to have Rolodexes. Here's my Rolodex. Who do you need, right? Where does that come from, that feeling of abundance? And I'm going to share and I will connect, because you might not benefit from it.
Yeah. And oftentimes I don't. And that truly is not something that I even think about. And in 2010, so before I jumped into network marketing, I was thinking of what I could do. And I had written down Ms. Connector. So it was Miss Connector. And it was just something that I innately love to do. And it's not, and I want more and more and more of us to step into this, knowing that if you share, if you support, if you, rave and talk about that person in the lightest of lights, it is frequency that you are broadcasting into the universe. It is a gift. And so for me, it's not about connecting, absolutely not about, what I get. Or the other thing is, if it's, okay, so what happens is I will, support them if I get this, or I will support them if they're not in my industry, or if they're not doing the same thing as me. But this is not this is very 3D lack oriented thinking. And so what I want all of us, and it took me a moment to really put into words, because I just do it. I've never actually talked about this. So, I love the space to actually put this out into the world. I want more and more of us to step into this trust that we get to rise together. And it is our time to rise together. It has never been a more perfect time. And so the more that you step into this abundance, because this is a very abundant statement, the more for you, for me, for the world. And it's a beautiful frequency to play in.
That is just, so what is your big dream for Anna?
My big dream for Anna is for all of us to rise. And I have goosebumps all over my body, because I feel as females and women who, I do have generational lack around money trauma that I have worked through for years. And a lot of us carry these burdens, but it truly is time to cut those cords, leveraging different tools that can support us, like Reiki, like, so many different practices, and really step into who we are meant to be, the work that we're meant to do. And together, it will only accelerate the timelines, and we will only experience the abundance together, creating more and more ripple effects. And so I just see it as this ripple of women rising together in their power, and then seeing that ripple to our children, to their children. And it's like the past, like we've cut that paradigm, like we're creating new paradigms of wealth, of worthiness, of joy, of pleasure, of success. And yes, we get to have it all, and we are worthy of it all.
We are indeed worthy of it all. Where can people find more information? Where can people find more? I know you just launched your website, which is so beautiful, so beautiful. But where can people find you? We'll link to all of it, but where can people find you?
Yes. And I have to say, your website inspired me, because I landed on your website and I'm like, this is 8 figures. Like this, if I put something into the world, it has to be the embodiment of where I am going, not where I am today. And so thank you for that. So annalozano.com is live. It went live last week. And my playground right now is Instagram. So Anna Lozano, _Anna Lozano on Instagram.
And you share, for anybody who's not following you, highly recommend that you follow her, because you share so much value. Like so every single day you put out content that is inspiring, that is uplifting, that really challenges us to step into the best version of ourselves. So thank you for doing that. You do a truly beautiful job. And I know that you've also started putting on retreats, or partnered to put on retreats.
Oh, see, another beautiful collaboration that came together. Like when you open yourself up to collaborations and possibilities really truly flow in. So we're hosting our second retreat in the Okanagan for female founders who are really craving that community and sisterhood and connection, which is something that so many of us were just missing over the last 2 years. And so that really was the intention of doing a retreat. Again, never hosted anything like this, never done retreats, mostly playing on the online space, but it's that physical connection, to hug someone and to feel their heartbeat is just next level. So we will see. We have this one plan. We'll see if there's more on the horizon, but it is beautiful to connect with one another in real life. And it's truly magical.
And it is so magical for me to connect with you. It truly, a few weeks ago, you and I got to meet in real, well, we'd met before in real life, but we actually got to see each other after, like, since the world shut down. And it was amazing just to be able to literally just hug, right? Not even say words, but just hug. And I am so grateful to know you. I am so grateful for the gift that you are to the world, and the work that you are doing to inspire us women to step into more of who we were meant to be. And I'd love to ask you to finish this sentence. I am
worthy.
You are worthy, and you're amazing, and you're such a gift. And I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for your time today, and so grateful to get to call you a friend. Thank you, Anna.
I love you so much. And now we're both going to cry. Love you.